Respect is a fundamental human need, yet many of us encounter people who don't honor our worth or boundaries. Facing disrespect can be painful, frustrating, and destabilizing. But what if you could meet these moments with calm strength and unshakable self-respect that no one could undermine? This is the essence of Stoic philosophy, cultivating an inner fortress of dignity that remains steady regardless of how others behave. When someone disrespects you, it's easy to react with anger, defensiveness, or hurt. Yet the Stoics teach us that your power lies not in fighting disrespect with aggression, but in maintaining your own composure and values. Respect starts from within. It is an expression of your own self-regard, not dependent on how others treat you. When you hold yourself with unwavering confidence and clear boundaries, you change the power dynamic and protect your peace. This episode explores 5 practical Stoic strategies to handle people who don't respect you. From embracing the silent stare that conveys strength without words, to using silence as a powerful shield against toxicity, to stopping the exhausting need to explain yourself. You'll also learn why keeping distance from those who drain your energy is an act of clarity and self-care, and how walking tall with confidence disrupts disrespect and affirms your worth. If you've ever struggled with people who undermine your dignity or make you question your value, these lessons will help you reclaim your power and live with calm confidence. The Stoic approach is not about retaliation. It's about rising above, preserving your integrity, and living with inner strength that no disrespect can shake. If this message resonates with you, please subscribe to Stoic Reflections, like the video, and share your thoughts or questions in the comments below. Together, let's build unshakable self-respect and face the world with steady strength. Embrace the silent stare. In the face of disrespect, one of the most powerful and understated tools you can wield is the silent stare. This isn't about glaring angrily or showing hostility. Rather, it's a calm, steady gaze that communicates your unshakable self-respect without uttering a single word. The silent stare flips the power dynamic by unsettling the disrespectful person while reinforcing your own dignity and composure. It is a form of nonverbal communication so profound that it commands attention and demands respect, not through aggression or confrontation, but through quiet strength. When someone disrespects you, your instinct might be to respond verbally, defending yourself, arguing back, or reacting emotionally. However, these responses often feed the disrespectful behavior by giving it energy and validation. The silent stare, on the other hand, is a way to assert your presence and boundaries without escalating the conflict. It says, "I see you, and I am not affected by your attempts to undermine me." This subtle, confident look carries a message of control and inner calm that is difficult for others to ignore or challenge. From a Stoic perspective, this silent stare embodies the principle of controlling your own mind and emotions rather than being controlled by external provocations. You do not need to argue or prove yourself. Your composure alone is a powerful statement. This approach aligns perfectly with the Stoic ideal of virtue expressed through self-mastery and dignity. The effect of the silent stare is often surprising to those who expect a reaction. Disrespectful individuals frequently rely on eliciting anger, confusion, or submission to feel dominant. When you withhold these reactions and instead meet their behavior with quiet confidence, it unsettles them. The power shifts away from their provocations and returns to you. This reversal is not about seeking to intimidate, but about establishing a clear, unspoken boundary grounded in your own worth. Practically, cultivating the silent stare requires mindfulness and presence. It means learning to pause and observe rather than reacting immediately. When confronted with disrespect, take a deep breath and steady your gaze. Look the person in the eye with calm assurance. Maintain this gaze without aggression or defensiveness. Your body language, upright posture, relaxed shoulders, and steady breath will reinforce the message of strength. This practice can be challenging at first, especially if you're used to responding verbally or emotionally. It may feel uncomfortable to hold silence in the face of provocation, but with repetition, the silent stare becomes a natural and powerful tool. It helps you develop emotional regulation and teaches you that sometimes the most impactful response is no response at all. Importantly, the silent stare is not about shutting down communication or avoiding issues. It's a strategic choice to preserve your peace and assert your dignity. When you combine this calm, non-reactive presence with thoughtful actions, like setting clear boundaries or walking away, it becomes even more effective. This approach also has a ripple effect on your self-image. Each time you choose the silent stare over a reactive outburst, you reinforce your own confidence and self-control. You prove to yourself that your worth is not contingent on others' approval or behavior. This internal validation is the foundation of lasting self-respect. In social and professional settings, the silent stare can disarm bullies, manipulators, or disrespectful colleagues. It signals that you are not an easy target, and it often diffuses tension by removing the fuel of emotional reaction. People respect calm confidence more than loud defiance, and the silent stare embodies exactly that. To summarize, embracing the silent stare is a powerful Stoic strategy for handling disrespect. It allows you to maintain your dignity and self-respect without engaging in conflict or aggression. By cultivating a calm, steady gaze, you communicate strength and unsettle disrespectful behavior, shifting the power back to yourself. This nonverbal expression of inner mastery aligns with the Stoic ideal of controlling what is within your power, your own mind and reactions, and protecting your peace. So the next time you encounter disrespect, remember the strength of silence and the power of a calm, unwavering stare. Let your presence speak volumes and your self-respect shine through without a single word. In this quiet power, you find a formidable tool for preserving your dignity and commanding respect. 2. Embrace silence as your answer. In dealing with people who show you disrespect, silence is one of the most powerful, yet often underutilized tools at your disposal. Silence is not a sign of weakness, submission, or indifference. On the contrary, it is a deliberate and profound act of strength that allows you to filter toxic behavior, protect your energy, and maintain your inner peace. By choosing silence as your response, you refuse to feed the disrespect with the attention it craves and instead create space for calm and clarity within yourself. In today's fast-paced world, we often feel pressured to respond immediately, to defend ourselves, justify our actions, or retaliate. When faced with disrespect, many people instinctively react with words that can escalate conflict, deepen misunderstandings, or drain emotional reserves. However, Stoicism teaches that by withholding reaction, especially verbal reaction, you regain control. Silence is a powerful filter that stops toxic energy in its tracks. It denies the disrespectful person the engagement they seek, leaving them disarmed and less likely to continue their harmful behavior. The Stoics understood the power of silence deeply. Epictetus, a great Stoic philosopher, emphasized controlling your reactions and not letting external events disturb your inner tranquility. Silence is a practical way to implement this control. It embodies the Stoic principle of focusing only on what is within your power, your own mind and responses, and letting go of the need to influence or change others immediately. Choosing silence as your answer also protects your emotional energy. Engaging with disrespectful behavior can be exhausting and damaging to your mental health. It consumes time, focus, and emotional resources that could be better spent on growth, reflection, or positive interactions. Silence allows you to conserve this energy, preventing unnecessary escalation and preserving your capacity for thoughtful action when it truly matters. Practically, embracing silence requires conscious awareness and discipline. When confronted with disrespect, instead of rushing to respond, pause and breathe. Resist the urge to react impulsively. Let your silence communicate your composure and strength. This pause is a powerful moment that shifts the dynamic. Your calm presence becomes a quiet but firm boundary. Silence can take many forms. It might mean saying nothing in the moment, choosing not to defend or explain yourself immediately. It can also mean withdrawing from conversations or situations where disrespect persists. Sometimes silence is an internal process, a deliberate mental step back that prevents you from internalizing negativity or allowing it to disrupt your peace. It is important to note that silence is not avoidance or passive acceptance of mistreatment. It is a strategic response grounded in self-respect. By not reacting to disrespect with anger or defensiveness, you avoid escalating conflicts and keep your dignity intact. When appropriate, silence can be combined with other Stoic strategies, such as setting clear boundaries or walking away, to protect yourself fully. Over time, practicing silence in the face of disrespect builds emotional resilience. You learn to detach from the need to control others' behavior or opinions and focus instead on your own mental state. This detachment fosters inner calm and reduces the emotional charge that disrespect often triggers. Silence also creates space for reflection and clarity. Without the noise of reactive words, you can think more clearly about the situation, your feelings, and your next steps. This clarity leads to wiser, more measured responses aligned with your values rather than impulsive reactions. In social interactions, silence can be a disarming force. When others expect a defensive or emotional reply and instead receive quiet composure, it can unsettle their attempts at disrespect. This subtle power often encourages them to reconsider their behavior or disengage altogether. Furthermore, silence models strength to others. It signals that you are in control of yourself and your environment. People respect those who do not react impulsively or give in to provocation, but maintain a calm and measured presence. This respect often leads to healthier, more balanced relationships. In summary, embracing silence as your answer is a powerful Stoic approach to handling disrespect. It protects your energy, preserves your dignity, and shifts the power dynamic without aggression or confrontation. By cultivating the discipline to respond with silence, you align with the Stoic ideal of mastering yourself and prioritizing peace over reaction. So the next time you face disrespect, remember that silence is your ally. Let your calm quietness speak louder than words. Starve toxic behavior of attention and safeguard your inner peace. In this profound stillness lies a strength that no disrespect can diminish, a true mark of Stoic wisdom and self-mastery. 3. Stop explaining your choices. In a world where social validation often feels essential, one of the most liberating and empowering principles you can adopt, especially from a Stoic perspective, is to stop explaining your choices to others. You don't owe anyone a justification for how you live your life, what decisions you make, or the boundaries you set. True confidence arises when you own your decisions unapologetically, without feeling compelled to defend or rationalize them to satisfy others. This shift not only strengthens your self-respect, but also protects your peace and fosters genuine autonomy. Many people fall into the trap of over-explaining their actions, hoping to gain approval or avoid criticism. This need to justify oneself often stems from insecurity and the desire to be accepted. However, the more you explain, the more you give away your power. You place your worth in the hands of others, inviting judgment, debate, or dismissal. The Stoics warn against this vulnerability. Epictetus taught that what others think of you is beyond your control and not something worth losing your peace over. What matters is living in alignment with your values and reasoned judgment. When you stop explaining your choices, you send a clear message to yourself and others. Your decisions are your own, grounded in your principles and understanding. This ownership is a cornerstone of Stoic self-mastery. It reflects that you trust your own reasoning and are not dependent on external approval to validate your path. This confidence becomes a shield against manipulation, peer pressure, and disrespect. Practically ceasing to explain your choices requires cultivating self-trust and a strong sense of identity. It means reflecting deeply on why you make your decisions and being comfortable with them. When you understand your reasons clearly, you no longer feel the need to convince others constantly. This inner clarity makes you less reactive to criticism or misunderstanding. This principle also encourages you to develop healthy boundaries. When people disrespect you or challenge your choices, you can respond calmly and firmly without entering into endless debates or explanations. You conserve your energy for what truly matters and avoid getting entangled in toxic dynamics. It's important to recognize that this does not mean ignoring constructive feedback or refusing to communicate. Rather, it is about choosing when and to whom you owe an explanation. You can be open and transparent with trusted individuals who respect you, while withholding explanations from those who are dismissive, disrespectful, or manipulative. Stopping the habit of over-explaining also strengthens your emotional resilience. You become less vulnerable to feeling attacked or invalidated because your sense of worth is rooted internally. This internal grounding is a central Stoic ideal, valuing your own reason and virtue over external opinions. Furthermore, owning your choices unapologetically helps you live more authentically. You align your actions with your values without compromise or hesitation. This authenticity attracts respect and fosters meaningful connections with others who appreciate you for who you truly are, rather than who you try to please. In professional and social settings, this principle empowers you to make decisions confidently and set boundaries clearly. It guards against overcommitment, burnout, and resentment that come from constantly defending your choices or trying to appease others. To practice this, begin by noticing when you feel compelled to explain yourself and why. Reflect on whether the explanation is necessary or if it serves to seek validation. Gradually reduce the explanations you offer, focusing instead on asserting your decisions calmly and clearly. In summary, stopping the need to explain your choices is a profound step towards Stoic self-mastery and inner freedom. It cultivates confidence rooted in self-trust, preserves your energy, and protects your peace. By owning your decisions unapologetically, you affirm your worth and reclaim control over your life's narrative. So embrace the power of owning your choices without justification. Trust your reasoned judgment, set your boundaries firmly, and live authentically. In this practice lies a quiet but formidable strength, a hallmark of Stoic wisdom and the path to unshakable self-respect. 4. Keep your distance. One of the most powerful, yet often overlooked ways to handle people who don't respect you is to maintain healthy distance, both physically and emotionally. Keeping your distance is not an act of cruelty or avoidance. It is an act of clarity, self-care, and strength. It means recognizing that not everyone deserves access to your time, energy, or mental space. Setting and maintaining these boundaries preserves your peace, protects your self-respect, and allows you to focus on what truly matters. Disrespectful behavior can be draining and damaging. When you constantly engage with people who belittle, dismiss, or undermine you, your mental and emotional resources are depleted. This exposure often leads to increased stress, self-doubt, and a weakened sense of self-worth. The Stoics teach us that much of our suffering comes from trying to control or fix what is outside our power, including the behavior and opinions of others. One of the most effective ways to safeguard your well-being is to consciously choose who and what you allow into your inner world. The concept of keeping distance aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of focusing only on what is within your control. You cannot control others' actions or attitudes, but you can control your exposure to them. By reducing your interactions with disrespectful individuals, you protect your mental sovereignty and reduce the chances of being drawn into conflict or emotional turmoil. Practically, keeping your distance involves setting clear boundaries. This could mean limiting time spent with certain people, avoiding topics of conversation that provoke disrespect, or disengaging from relationships that consistently harm your self-esteem. Boundaries are not walls meant to isolate, but protective measures that help you maintain balance and clarity. Emotionally distancing yourself doesn't mean becoming indifferent or uncaring. Instead, it's about prioritizing your peace and well-being while still acting with kindness and integrity. Sometimes this means stepping back to observe rather than react, choosing detachment over entanglement in negativity. The Stoics recognize the importance of choosing your company wisely. Seneca advised surrounding yourself with virtuous and supportive individuals, as their presence influences your character and mindset. Conversely, keeping distance from those who disrespect or drain you is an act of wisdom and self-respect. This practice also cultivates self-care. By protecting your time and mental energy, you create space for reflection, growth, and positive relationships. It allows you to focus on your values and goals without being distracted or diminished by toxic influences. Moreover, maintaining distance reinforces your self-worth. It sends a message to yourself and to others that you value yourself enough not to tolerate disrespect. This clear boundary strengthens your confidence and often leads others to reconsider their behavior, knowing you won't accept being treated poorly. In social or professional settings, keeping distance can be challenging, especially when you must interact regularly with disrespectful people. In these cases, emotional and psychological distance is equally important. You can engage politely and professionally without allowing their disrespect to penetrate your inner calm. This skill requires practice and mindfulness, learning to remain present but detached. It's important to remember that distance is a dynamic and personal choice. It's not about cutting off people permanently or reacting out of fear. Instead, it's a conscious, compassionate act of self-preservation. You might maintain distance temporarily while working on resolving issues or permanently if the relationship is harmful. In summary, keeping your distance is a vital Stoic strategy for handling disrespect. It is an act of clarity, self-care, and strength that protects your peace and reinforces your dignity. By choosing who and what you allow into your mental and emotional space, you maintain control over your inner life and reduce unnecessary suffering. So practice setting and maintaining healthy boundaries. Recognize that distance is not cruelty but wisdom. Protect your energy and your peace by keeping distance from those who do not respect you. In doing so, you cultivate a life of calm confidence and unshakable self-respect, the true mark of Stoic strength. 5. Hold your head high. When confronting disrespect, one of the most visible and impactful ways to assert your self-respect and command dignity is simply to hold your head high. This phrase may sound like a cliché, but within the context of Stoic philosophy, it carries deep significance. Walking tall with confidence is not about arrogance or defiance. It is a powerful, nonverbal declaration that your worth is non-negotiable and that you refuse to shrink or diminish yourself in the face of disrespect. The way you carry yourself sends powerful messages to others and, perhaps more importantly, to yourself. Body language is often the first form of communication, and holding your head high reflects an inner state of calm confidence. It signals that you own your presence and your space in the world. This posture can disrupt patterns of disrespect by shifting the energy and power dynamic. When you present yourself with dignity, those who might seek to undermine or belittle you often find it harder to do so. From a Stoic perspective, this practice embodies the principle of self-mastery and integrity. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher king, emphasized the importance of living in accordance with virtue and standing firm against external pressures. Holding your head high is a physical expression of that steadfastness, a refusal to be swayed by the opinions or actions of others. Confidence reflected in your posture and demeanor can act as a protective armor. It reduces the likelihood that others will see you as an easy target. Disrespect often thrives when it meets uncertainty, hesitation, or self-doubt. By carrying yourself with assuredness, you communicate strength that commands respect and deters aggression. This form of confidence also reinforces your own mindset. When you hold your head high, you align your physical state with your internal beliefs. This alignment strengthens your self-image and mental fortitude. It reminds you of your own value and helps you stay grounded in your principles, even when others try to challenge or diminish you. Practically, holding your head high means adopting an upright posture with your chin slightly lifted, shoulders back but relaxed, and eyes looking forward or slightly upward. It involves moving with purposeful steadiness and calmness. These physical adjustments, although subtle, have profound effects on your emotional state and how others perceive you. It's important to combine this posture with a composed facial expression, not forced or aggressive, but calm and confident. A steady gaze that meets the eyes of others without flinching adds to the message of self-respect. This practice is also deeply connected to the Stoic discipline of assent, choosing what judgments to accept and which to reject. When disrespectful words or actions come your way, you do not accept the judgment that you are less worthy or deserving. Holding your head high is a rejection of those negative assessments and an affirmation of your inherent dignity. Holding your head high can transform how you navigate difficult social situations. It influences not only how others treat you, but also how you experience yourself. You are less likely to internalize disrespect or allow it to shake your confidence. Instead, you maintain your composure and respond with clarity and strength. This posture also encourages you to act according to your values. It reminds you to uphold your standards and not compromise your integrity to please others or avoid conflict. Walking tall is a daily practice of self-respect that supports all your interactions and decisions. In summary, holding your head high is a simple yet profound Stoic strategy to handle disrespect. It is a physical manifestation of inner strength, self-respect, and confidence. By maintaining this posture, you disrupt patterns of disrespect, protect your dignity, and embody the calm power of a Stoic mind. So, practice walking with your head held high. Let your posture reflect your unwavering worth and commitment to your values. In this simple act lies a formidable strength, one that no disrespect can undermine, and that sets you firmly on the path of Stoic resilience and peace. True strength and unwavering self-respect begin within. Throughout this episode, we have uncovered 5 powerful Stoic strategies for handling people who don't respect you, each rooted in the timeless wisdom of mastering your mind, emotions, and boundaries. From embracing the silent stare that communicates calm confidence without words, to using silence as a shield that starves toxic behavior of attention, you've learned how to protect your energy and preserve your peace. You've discovered the freedom that comes from stopping the need to explain your choices and the clarity gained by keeping distance from those who drain your spirit. Finally, you've seen how holding your head high is a bold nonverbal declaration of your worth that disrupts disrespect and commands dignity. These practices are not about retaliation or confrontation. They are about rising above negativity with grace and strength. They teach us that respect is not granted by others but earned and maintained through our own self-regard and principled actions. When you embody these lessons, you reclaim your power and refuse to let anyone diminish your value. If this episode has resonated with you, I encourage you to subscribe to Stoic Reflections, like the video, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Together, we cultivate a community committed to wisdom, resilience, and inner peace. Remember, your peace and dignity are your most precious assets. Guard them fiercely. Choose calm over reaction, silence over argument, and confidence over doubt. In doing so, you live not as a victim of disrespect, but as a master of your own mind. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you walk forward with quiet strength and unshakable respect.